All right, I'm just going to get started in a few minutes. And if you're from my newsletter, feel free to stop in, drop a comment, say hello. I will love to see your comments. Okay, I've got my files attached. Okay, checking everything. Hey, Rhoda. I'm happy to see you. I love your thing that you did yesterday. Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Totally prettier than mine, even. But that's what I love. I love like giving some ideas and then seeing what you make with it. It's crazy. My goodness. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Right now it is, well, it just stopped. It was pouring sideways in Miami. It was insane today. Um, oh, no worries. Yeah, I'm going to share that on Facebook. I love it. And gonna get straight into the stuff today here in a second. Make sure my everything is okay. And also, anybody who wants to chime in, make sure that my volume is okay. So it's been a little off and on, but I think it should be fine. So I was getting some, I'm excited today because we're going to be remixing some, oh, thank you, right? I had actually made that video, and so it worked as a perfect trailer to play while I'm getting ready. Audio volume on Behance is good. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm part of the future now. I'm loving it. With my Stream Deck, and now you don't have to see my ugly screen whenever I'm, getting started, my OBS stream and everything. So yeah, okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. So let's get into my Photoshop screen and change my scene here. It's the future. Yay. Okay, we're on a little delay there, but it's okay. And yeah, also that the quality is okay. Hopefully it's good. So one of the things that I was wanting to share today, that is really, I think, really important to remember is about Adobe Stock. So I know that they have some free assets on Adobe Stock, and I was just wanting to see, like, look for some ideas, and then also, like, maybe see if they had some like shapes that I can use in my designs and stuff. And so I popped into Adobe Stock and searched fall, and I was like shooketh, by the way. So I want to make sure that everybody else is not sleeping on this. They have tons of stuff. And so I searched fall, and you can just go to like stock.adobe.com. And I searched under the free, I searched fall, and I put illustrations and vectors. And they have like, gosh, what is it, 2,000 images? And then also, if you put photo, it's like 12,000 or something like this. But this can be a really good starting off point or jumping off point. So, like, don't sleep on the Adobe Stock, because you don't necessarily have to use the stock as it is. You can cut out the shape, remix it, grab some vectors, whatever. So that's really flipping cool. So that's kind of what I did today, and I actually got some inspiration from that. So I'm going to share that. But I have bookmarked, I'm going to continue with my fall stuff, my fall inspiration. So I'm going to continue to, well, I bookmarked some of them, and then I'm going to use those as jumping off points for some of my designs. So you don't need to like reinvent the wheel all the time. And I got a really great jumping off point today with like the things that I've done so far. So just got to give a big shout out to Adobe Stock. Like, don't sleep on them. And then also, I actually flew through this tutorial yesterday, just kind of giving the idea of it. And I have to give a shout out to Rhoda, because she shared this, Rhoda Bolton. shared this on my Creators Couture Insiders Facebook group, and she just made an absolutely beautiful version of this with her own little twist and used the fall color palettes with the wet brushes as you see here, and it's super autumnal. And I just have to like, you know, give the shout out because I think it's so pretty. And even she got creative and used the Undersea Dreams, which are kind of like coral inspired brushes for the gold, using the gold play technique. It looks like I love these very delicate uh, wet paint mixer strokes, probably from the 24 karat gold collection. And even if when you're using that multicolor sampling technique with those wet brushes, even if you take that brush size down really small, you still feel that depth, you still feel the shine, the glimmer and all that. So please, if you make something inspired by my tutorials, share it, because like nothing in this earth gives me more pleasure. I am absolutely loving it. And also I had to give another shout out to one of my favorite creators, and she has done some amazing things with my brushes. Her Instagram is creatology.m, and I believe the first name is Maurilius, but she just does amazing things. So I'm just going to show a couple of them. And this is actually using one of my Happy Stitches Illustrator brushes and creating a gorgeous evil eye sort of design. I love that. And she used my glitch core brushes here with this tropical scene. But what I love is she's so good at doing animations and stuff, so it made it really fun. And I just love it. Like, oh my gosh, I had to give her a little shout out today. So definitely check out her work. And yeah, if you want me to share your stuff and everything, give me, you know, tag me, join our Facebook group. It's linked from my website, or just, you know, tag me in your designs or whatever. I love to see it. So I'm just going to get really into it today. And hold on one second. Let me close these windows because I don't want anything slowing down my work. And so one thing that I'm going to do today is drop in 5 new brushes for my subscribers. If you are a Behance subscriber, it's attached to this this live stream, so you can download that right away. If you are still on Patreon, then it will be in the instant access folder. Go check out Patreon and go check out the last post that I made. And then, yeah, so I'll just going to quick show you these brushes here. I've got a little preview. And these are just some work in progress brushes. That's one of the things that I like about doing my membership, is that I can just drop in a few brushes that I make at a time, and I don't have to do the whole collection, but I can instantly share with you my brushes. Although I'm like, I would love to just give my brushes free for everybody, manifesting Adobe, but I have to make a living, so I sell them right now. But in an ideal world, they'll be free for everybody. But let's see here. I'm going to use my artistic autumn color palettes. I'll grab one here. And just to show you these multicolor brushes. By the way, if you missed yesterday's live stream, I have a free Artistic Autumn sampler, so you can download some of my Artistic Autumn brushes for free, as well as the color blends, my pre-made color blends that I created sampling real foliage, real photographs. So this is a watercolor brush, and within it's got pressure sensitivity, of course, and I really like it. I used within the brush, in the dual brush, I used a hard mix. So it's got these really cool kind of, it's got this, as you paint and you push down, it'll kind of grow. So you get almost that feel of like on fresco with the live watercolors. It feels alive and you can see the colors, you know, blending and coming out really soft, really beautiful. So that's just a fun brush that I'm working on that I wanted to share with my subscribers. And yeah, I could just enjoy that again and again. And don't forget, you can make your own color blends. I have got the explanations below. or you can sample from photographs. It's just magic. And then this is a fun foliage brush that I did. And I thought this would be really cool for fall. This is not in my Artistic Autumn brush collection, but I thought that would be very nice for accents, you know, to kind of like give sort of a tree foliage, fall foliage. You've got those beautiful multicolors coming out. And then also I did this leaf brush, just something different. Let's get a nice color blend here, a different one. So you've got all those kind of maple leaves coming out, and we've got some pressure sensitivity on it. So when you push harder, you're going to have that stronger contrast of the colors within it. And then if you press softer, then you're not going to see that so much. So something fun to play with. And then I have like a streaky watercolor brush. So let me grab a different color blend. Oh, these are so crazy. Yeah. So here is, this has got like, you can really feel the little streakiness in it. And so I thought that might be fun. We can find a way to use that later in the tutorial, I think. So having a little fun with that streaky brush. It's got pressure sensitivity, of course. And let's see here. Oh, this is a splattery watercolor brush. And it's just fun. This is a little, it's not realistic, but it's crazy and fun, and not everything has to be realistic. So this could be great for, you know, background designs, adding a touch of watercolor, fall autumnal watercolor to your designs. And it's just got because of the texture in the brush, that's why you get that kind of a splattery sort of effect. So I think that's really fun and wild and crazy. So I look forward to seeing what you guys do with it. And then also I have this little writer brush, which actually I have released this, I believe. I think it was in my 12 Days of Christmas brush collection, but it's a little brush that I made that's kind of an enclosed, what do you call it? I use the dual brush, and so then I have the colors mixing, but I thought it's a fun brush for text. So wait, I am no hand letterer here, but you can make some cool lettering with that, and I think it's a fun lettering brush. So I just wanted to drop that in, and you can grab any other colors. So I think it's fun. You could do some cool accents with it, whatever. So those are for the subscribers. And before I just quick get into the main bit of the tutorial, if you're not a subscriber, what are you even doing, by the way? But no, it's okay. I've got, if you can subscribe now on Behance for 10 bucks, and you can access all of these tutorial brushes, toolkits, all kinds of stuff. So lots, like hundreds of brushes, all kinds of stuff. Very good. So where I got inspired today, so let's get into it here. Enough chit chat. So yeah, sometimes I'll go cruising for, you know, the stock sites to get some, you know, shapes to work with, to get some inspiration. And so I was cruising Adobe Stock, and I found this, which is in their free category. So this, I mean, you can find some quality sort of illustrations here. And I thought, why not get inspired by this? Because I was thinking of doing some kind of like floral, autumnal sort of motifs, like a floral bouquet or something like that. But first, I find it's often easier for me to make the pieces separately, and then I can put them together. So when I saw this, I go, hey, I can do something cool like this. So let me use these ideas as a jumping off point. And I can see easily how I could, you know, kind of remix these or redraw them using my brushes and create some great ideas. So first off, let me just hide this. And I think we'll first start with this. What is this? Oh gosh, that plant that's on the side of the road sometimes, and it's so popular at weddings. If you remember it, let me know, because I am not remembering it right now at all. Gosh, what is that? It's going to make me crazy. Oh, hey, Maurilius. I'm super happy to see you. And I was just giving you a shout out, by the way, on my, for your Instagram. So I'm super happy to see you there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use this document because I have my brushes marked that I liked. So let me just hide this thing here that I've done. So I'm going to show you how I made that. That was really easy with the brushes. All right, let me tidy. Okay, I just got a background here. So I was going to make Pompous Grass. Dear goodness, I could not even remember. So let's make some Pompous Grass. And for this, I am going to use my some of my brushes for my Feather Couture, which I just don't have enough time to do everything with all my brushes. But these brushes are, I have to just toot my own horn, beep, beep. So, they're not just like for feather. Some of them are just really artistic. Yes, they have a feather texture in there, but like you can use them for so many things. Like this brush number 6, like the texture inside this brush is just luscious. So I bookmarked some of the brushes that I thought would be cool to make this Pompous Grass. So here I've got 19, 27. So let me just show you those brushes in action. So I'm just going to grab one of the autumnal color palettes, and with my, of course, pattern stamp tool, and if you're not familiar with this technique, check below. And then let's look at these feather brushes, if I can find them. Too many brushes. No, there's never such thing. Tie-dye. Okay, here we go. So let's look at the first, let's see here, 19. I bookmarked that. So I kind of want to have like an idea of what I'm going to do before I do my tutorial. So this one is brush number 19. We're digging it. As you can see, I think it just straight out of the box, it has a very pompous grass sort of vibe. So that's 19. Let me get another color palette here. And I think I bookmarked, let's see here, 27. So let's check that out. And even we don't have to make the whole thing with one of them, you know, we can make multiple. So that looks very nice. We can even zoom in a little bit here. So really pretty. We're really vibing with that. That's 27. I think I could just do a mix of things. And then we've got 46. So let's look at 46. I'm going to do a little side by side. It's a bit fun. Grab a different color palette. This one is nice. It's a little bit different than the 19, but those ones are a little bit similar. I think I like 19 more than 46. So, but we can mix and match. That's 46. And then the last one, which I think I used in my demo, was 53. And let's get a different color palette and move these down. I'll just set it over here. 53, is that it? Oh yeah, so this one is, I think that's the one I use. Let me undo. Maybe make a new layer. Oh, thank you, Madeline. You're working on a collection made with the tools and made a tulle skirt with the tulle brushes. Oh yeah, the tulle brushes I really like. I got a lot of inspiration from Couture. Here is the 53 brush. I think that's quite cool. So what we could do is maybe mix it up a little bit, mix up some of these brushes, and then I thought even to add some maybe little oh gosh, like when you get like some little sticks, but of gold. So we could have a little fun with that. Love the new background video. Oh, thank you. Love that. So as you can see, you can make a Pompous Grass like this just with one brush stroke basically, and let the brushes do all the hard work. Super fun. but let's just go in and make like a proper one here. And so I'm going to start with the 53, I think. And let's just grab a color palette that I think is pretty. Oh, that's very gorge and autumnal. So like, and I'm going to make it straight up and down. But oh, also one little trick you can do is later after you create these elements, a lot of times I'll make them kind of straight up and down. And then you can, of course, in Photoshop, you can use your puppet warp, but also you can drag and drop it in Illustrator and create an art brush and then redraw it as you like, which I should probably show that to you. But okay, so let's just get into this little Pompous Grass stick thing. And I am 100% vibing with this brush. We're getting a very cool autumnal Pompous Grass. If that's, it doesn't matter, it's not in nature, that is irrelevant. Okay, so then we're gonna make a new layer above that. And this brush you create or download it. Oh, so this brush is from my Feather Couture collection. So definitely check that out. After the video is done, I'll link that down below. And I think I want to add, it's hard for me to make anything without adding gold. So I think I'm just going to add some little gold accents in this like Pompous Grass. So oh gosh, I got everything open. I think I'm going to go to my gold play collection, which is, I've been working with a lot lately, getting ready to release it for the public, but it's already for my subscribers. And I think I'm going to grab like one of these brushes. Yes. Okay. Spring Botanicals or this one. That's cool. So this is one of my gold play brushes. And what I'm going to do is if I take it down, I don't like the color that's already loaded in here. So I'm going to reload some gold really quick. So what I'm going to do is grab my gold color palette, if my library will open. All right, let's go to my wet brush palette. Let's see here. Normally it is at the top. Styles, wet palettes. Okay. Let me get my gold sidebar. I use this bad boy all the time, so if you are familiar with my tutorials, you'll recognize that. Okay, so now it's lighter, so we're digging it. So we're just gonna add a little bit of gold accent, and I think what I will do is I'll add a little bit of the, like a drop shadow and bevel and emboss, maybe just the drop shadow. No, it's all right. So these styles I actually included with my gold play collection. So we're just gonna add some little gold strokes inside here. So even we could do the center, but maybe I'm going to, that's kind of pretty. We won't worry about it being perfect. That looks a little, you know, I don't want to do that center yet here. We're just wanting to add some gold accents within the stylized, what do you call it? Pompous Grass. So let's try this. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. And then let's go back to the same brush and, or maybe let's grab a different one and then do over it. So that way we'll be able to see those little gold accents popping out. So we'll try like, forget which one was quite cool. Maybe 27. Let's see here. Oh, no, that's tie-dye. Okay, feather. Yeah, that one's kind of good. Even, yeah, so we'll just kind of play around with that and hide some of them, but I don't know if I'm loving that. I might want to add slight almost drop shadow, I'm wondering. Might have to add some like, oh God, no. We're just going to go with it for now. I'm not going to worry about it being perfect, but we get the idea. And then maybe make a new one above it. And maybe I can make like the center, use that same mixer brush, the dry brush for the center, or no. One of my gold play brushes. I don't know if I'll use that or just a standard, like maybe one of my brushwork brushes. Let me see. Now that I've already got that gold in there, I don't know that I love it. The gold, maybe not for this thing, but not everything works out. So, you know, if I think maybe it doesn't work for this, I might have to play with it a little bit more to make it match kind of my other one that I already did. So maybe I'm going to leave out the gold for now. We're just, you know, being loosey-goosey and playing around. So now I kind of want to just make that center part, this like stick part in the middle. So I'll just grab my regular one color brush tool, and I'm going to grab one of my brushwork brushes, which are some, wait, not in red, which, let's see here. Oh, I've got the smoothing way up. So these ones are just some nice, these are like my one color brushes. They've got some nice texture in them. They're really cool. They're great for just simple things. And let's just, I'm going to option to bring out my color picker and just kind of get a brown from this. And I'm going to take my brush size quite down because I don't want it to be too big. And so we can just make like a really light sort of center. Maybe that's a little too light. Let's take the color down just a little bit. Madeline, you need them. Oh, yes, get them. You have to. Okay, so I'm just going to do like this, and then I'm going to just put some little strokes here. So I won't worry about it being perfect. I can play with this later, but we kind of get the idea, and then we'll see how it goes with the other one. I think my other one turned out like a little bit more successful, but whatever. We get a very pompous motif. We're just not going to worry about it being perfect. But one thing I will show you real quick, I know I don't really work a lot in Illustrator, but I do love their art brush feature. So let's see if I can just drag and drop this and show you what I'm talking about. Let me group this. So this is my whole pompous thing. So let's duplicate this group, click OK. I'll right click, merge the group, and let me select all, and I'm going to cut. I think, gosh, I haven't opened my Illustrator in ages, but I need to because I'm getting ready to do some demos with my Happy Stitches Illustrator brushes. Okay, so we just dropped this in here. I copied it from Photoshop, pasted it into Illustrator, and then let me zoom in just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna just go like this to turn it to the right, like how you would draw a brush. And I don't even need to, it's already embedded in there. So now what I can do is I can just drag this into my brush panel, click Art Brush, click OK. Stretch to fit stroke length. I'll try that. Otherwise, we can also play with scale proportionately. And then I'll click OK. Let's set this over to the side. Grab my brush tool. Make sure that's not selected. Otherwise, it's going to put a brush. Okay, so now you can see. Now you can just like draw that in all different ways. So that can be a real time saver, and you don't have to, you know, use the puppet warp in Photoshop. And you can also just have a lot more control over it. The puppet warp is not really the most ideal for that. So, you know, you could make it into, let me see here, And I have it stretched to fit stroke length, so that way if I make a really short one, it's going to look pretty squatty. Otherwise, you can just make sure that you make it long, or you can double click the brush and play around with it. And so I do scale proportionately, and then you can apply to strokes, and it'll always scale it, yeah, proportionally. So that's cool. So you can, I'm not the biggest Illustrator person, but that is a real hack for creating this motif and then being able to just redraw it, and you don't have to just copy and paste, and you can really do some cool things. Oh my gosh, hey David, glad to see you. Hope everything went well at Subaru. I was just showing how like you can drag and drop, create something in Photoshop, like a motif like this kind of Pompous Grass, and then you drop it in Illustrator, and then you can turn it into a brush, and then you can use it like draw some really cool things. So it's all about saving time. We are all about that and making things easier for yourself. So sometimes, you can make 2 or 3 of these and then just get to town with your Illustrator, and then, you can bring it back into Photoshop. So it's not a big deal. And so I've had enough time on that Pompous Grass. I'm kind of over it. I might play around later with it, maybe refine it a little bit. But what I want to do definitely on the live stream is to show this one that I created. Wait, no, not that. This little motif here. So I was inspired by this, and I thought, hey, we could do something with my, my artistic autumn brushes, something like that. And I think that's a cool motif to do. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. So let's just get a little zoom going on here. And it's just a few brushes, but this could be really lovely for a invitation on the side of something very fall, It's cool. So let's find my group. I'm going to call it Branch. Loves it. And let me duplicate that group. I'm trying to hold shift down. What is happening? And drag and drop. Okay. So let us bring it all back here. And so yeah, what I started with was the base of it. So I saw that I wanted to do something inspired by this. So I'm like, okay, let's keep it simple. We're going to do brushwork 22. And this is close enough to the color, so I'll just draw a new sort of stem, and of course it's got pressure sensitivity, so let's just, do something like this. It doesn't have to be, totally crazy. So let's just make a few stems coming out like that. Easy peasy, brushwork 22, one color. One of the few times I use a one color brush. Doesn't happen very often. I love my multicolor. Okay, so then I'm gonna make these little leaves, whatever you want to call them. This is not really any tree we would see in nature, but that doesn't matter. It's artistic. It's, whatever. So I grabbed one of my fave brushes ever, which is Artistic Autumn 23, I want to say. I don't know why 22 and 23 seem to be my favorite numbers these days. Let's find it. No, 23. Okay. So this is a gorge brush. It's got a soft blending, lovely. We loves it. So I'm just going to go through, take my brush size down a little bit, and create some little what do you call them? Leaves? I don't know. Buds. Doesn't really exist in nature, but whatevs. But as you can see, the colors are blending, gorgeous. And every time, you do it, it comes out different. So you don't necessarily have to take a bunch of different different palettes. like maybe I'll use 3 or something. So I was using one of my color blends from this collection, and now maybe I'll get one that's a little more green. Got all these gorgeous blending sort of things happening here. And of course, like most of my things, you don't need any drawing ability. So amazing, we love that. We're not necessarily about the drawing ability. I love to be creative, but I like my immediacy. I like things, and you know, like for me, if you want something that's super realistic, it's like, oh, take a picture. But I want it to be. I love things that are stylized, and it's just more fun. It's cool. I dig it. So there we've got some buds. So we're gonna call that good enough. Let me see what else I did here. Oh yeah, okay. So looks like once I had my buds going on here, then I'm going to make a new layer above them. I'm going to make a clipping mask. So I'm going to hold down my option, clip that mask to it. And now I'm going to use brush number 26 from this collection. And let's just get a little color palette that's maybe a bit more dramatic. So let me grab here. So it doesn't have to be, maybe that's too dramatic. Eeks. So I just went around and made some just little, looks like my memory's getting used up here. Eek. No, go away. Clean my Mac. Bye. Okay. So yeah, I'll just put some brush strokes on that. Those look a little bit dark. So yeah, just adding a little bit of brush strokes. I don't want to like totally cover the lovely blend, the multicolor blend that we've got going on, but just to add a little bit of spice here. So we love it. Good enough. And let me see how my branch, oh, I like those colors better. Whenever I do it myself, I swear it always turns out prettier. But by the way, I'll have the PSD files of the things that I made from today and yesterday uploaded later today. I just haven't had time. Oh, and hopefully I'm not too shiny because I just turned the heat, or not the heat, the air conditioning down, and now I'm regretting it. So, okay, yeah. So now we've got that good enough. I think I made this one. See, I always make the one before I start my demo a little bit prettier. A little bit like, this one's a little bit spaced out, but whatever. And then the last thing that I did was I added, let's see here, I think it's brush number 9, and it's just like a splattery sort of foliage brush. So I'm gonna put that on there. Let's see here, yeah. So brush number 9, I just added this brush. So I'm just gonna show you the brush first. And I like this because it's just kind of a artistic, foliage-esque. They're the brushes that I'm doing are, it's like a hint of foliage, but you don't want to be too cartoonish with it. So I'll just add a little bit, and behind, it's cool. I like the one that I did finally the first time. And also I like just adding a little bit of a soft accent behind this little branch that I did. So what I did was I took Artistic Autumn Brush 23, which is again one of my faves, and then all the color palettes are super bold, super fall in my fall collection. So I went to I always usually keep my regular Modern Impressionist palettes loaded, and because I have a lot of good just like a good selection of colors when I need a color blend fast. So I took this sort of white and cream one here, and just adds a nice sort of touch behind that little motif. So I think that's pretty. So I think I can continue more and create some more things that are inspired by this, and then maybe put them together in some things. I think that would be fun. Oh, and what else did I want to maybe I'll do a one or two more. I think I have some time. One thing though that I wanted to remind you guys is to mix and match color palettes and collections, because you just never know what you might get. And I was just playing around with this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looked so cool. Like sometimes it will surprise you. So I had just released my pattern painter collection, and I have, with that, I created these rainbow color palettes, which I think would look really cool on all of my brushes. And but especially the pattern painter, I thought it was cool. And they were very like, it's a very Lisa Frank sort of inspired color scheme. And let me see which brushes that I used. So I was just, let me make a new layer. So this is a little off piece, but whatever. But this is like the Artistic Autumn brushes, and that's super cool. I need to do some more, I don't have time to do everything, but anyway, don't feel, remember, for you guys that follow me, don't feel shy to like play around and mix collections and mix color palettes, because you never know what kind of cool things you'll get. And let's see where I had some of these turned out really cool. Oh, this is awesome. Brush number 17 from that collection. I think it makes a really fun background. Hello. Okay, that's pretty leafy. So, here's brush 23, Gorge. I'm such a crazy person about rainbows. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but these are all from my Artistic Autumn collection. So, don't just think you have to only use the Artistic Autumn color palettes. Of course, you can make your own. Of course, you can change it up with other collections, such as this one, and make some really cool, funky things. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that, and just to have some fun. It's wild. So I love that. I've got to do something with those rainbows soon. I think that you're going to see a tutorial with that. So remember to spice it up. And let's see here, what else did I want to do? Okay, so that was off pieced off of our lesson, but just wanted to remind you about that. Oh, and since I am doing my my Artistic Autumn, doing fall inspired things all week, I do have my Artistic Autumn collection on my website, like pretty half off. I think it's $7.99 instead of $14.99. So super deal. Check it out. A lot of you guys already have it though, so I really just want to give you guys ideas for using the products that you already have, rather than always just like new one. Thank you so much, Sarjan. Super glad. Okay, let's just do another quick one here. And I think I'm going to be inspired by this, like just a simple leaf here. So I'm going to just put this branch back up for inspiration because I think it's pretty. I think it's prettier than my branch that I just made. Anyway, so we'll just leave this here so we have something pretty on the screen. So let's just make a new layer, and I'm going to make something like this brush here. So what I'm going to, or not brush, hello, leaf. So I'm going to grab my lasso tool, and I'm not really worried about it being too perfect. So let's just make a vague leaf shape. And you could even draw out a shape and use a clipping mask if you want, but whatever. So I'm just going to use my selection tool and fill it in. So then I'm going to get my pattern stamp tool. Let's go back to the autumn collection. And I don't really know how this is going to turn out because I just am doing it, but whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine. And let's go to my Artistic Autumn collection while I'm there. I kind of like this one because you kind of have that sense of direction. So that's cool. We can kind of feel that. We've got those gorgeous, oh yeah, that looks really nice. We can kind of do a little bit of a herringbone sort of effect here, I think. That could be nice. Like that. So, you know, that's a really fun way to do, is play within your selections and create something like that. I think that's quite cool. Also, maybe I'm going to look at that brush that I just, the streaky watercolor that I just did. Oh, that's a little bit softer. I think I'm going to stick with that, so whatever, it's fine. You know, you can, uh, you know, just add accents. You could put some pattern in there. But we're just gonna leave that like that. It's pretty okay. I'm kind of digging it. So I'm just gonna deselect, and then now I'll maybe make that little sort of spine in it. So let me just make a new layer and grab my regular brush tool. It's on dry 23, so that's all right. And I've got kind of a brown. Maybe I'm gonna take that brown a little darker and make a little bit of a spine and just do something like this. So we're just going to add some, I should probably go along with the same angle that I have that sort of little pattern there. And even, you know, you can put it around the outside just to kind of look like, maybe not, I don't know. You know, something like that. So is it perfect? No, but it's okay. And we're just going to say fine. As you can see, my luscious sort of natural drawing skills are at play here. And even I could, if I wanted to add some little, maybe we could add like a little lighter color because it looks quite dark. So what I could do is I could option select with that same brush and then just maybe make a new layer underneath this and add some, there we go, add a little bit of like light strokes here so we can get that leaf sort of shape. I don't know. You can make it nice. You can make it pretty. I'm just here to give you guys some ideas, whatever. And one other idea that I can give you is, you know, take advantage sometimes of, let's turn that off because it's not the prettiest, but whatevs. Even something like this. So this is a free Adobe Stock thing that, Adobe Stock image that I license. It's free. And, you know, if you're doing like a design, say, an invitation or something. So I'm going to cut this. Let me just go over here. I'm going to paste it. We're going to use this shape as a clipping mask. So this is just little hacks you can do in your own design work. And, you know, there's no, you know, if you're using a design, you're doing some, gosh, you know, like an invitation or something, you know, you don't have to build everything from the ground up. That's why we have resources. That's why we have stock, da, da, da. So I'm just going to get my magic wand tool, and am I on this layer? Maybe the select subject will work. Okay, good. Select subject. I'm going to delete, like make a new layer and fill that layer. So now we've got this sort of, you know, what do you call it? A shape we can use as a clipping mask, and then, you know, draw our multicolor brushes on top of it. So let's just click OK, make a new layer above it, make a clipping mask. So the idea of this was to show you, you know, like use your resources. You don't have to do everything just from the ground up. You can just, you know, use these things to save time, especially if it's like Adobe Stock and it's free, you know. So hello, why not? It's amazing. Here I'm using, oh, it's my splattery watercolor brush. I think that looks gorgeous. That's a gorgeous sort of motif. And obviously we're not going to worry that it's perfect, whatever. Maybe on this one I'll take some of my gold play brushes and add some sort of thing here. So let's just see what I can do in the last few minutes of this tutorial. And like these dotty sort of brushes that I was playing with. That's kind of fun. This like ropey accent brush. That's kind of pretty. Oops. Okay, my thing's going off. That's nice. Maybe I'll put a new layer above that clipping mask layer and then kind of accent some of these. So I'm just drawing using that ropey dry accent brush from my gold play collection and kind of highlighting some of these edges. I think that's pretty. You know, you could play around. Maybe I'll do it down the center. Okay, that's nice. And then make a new layer above it. Just adding a little bit of, you know, depth, texture. Oh, I've got this soft texture brush here. Can add a little bit of that. That's kind of fun. That's also from the Gold Play collection, and it's a mixer brush with the drop, basically the dry settings, so that it's kind of stamping that gold that I've selected there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to delete that. Let's make one more layer above it, and let's play with that star brush, doing down the center here. That's okay. Hold on. I'm determined to make, that's pretty, Spring Botanicals, this accent brush, that's bold. You can take like any brush that you have that's like a, you know, like a kind of a chain, just the stamp, 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 and then, you know, use it as a mixer brush, have the settings on dry, select some gold, and you can create some cool things. Real quick, let me just option select. Going to load some gold up into it. If you're not familiar with this technique, check out my gold play tutorials live streams. Let me just, oh, that's too bright. So if, you know, you can keep reselecting the gold. That's nice. So we can just play with some of that. We're just making like motifs here. There's no, you know, right or wrong. I'll probably continue to play with this later today. And then maybe I'll add one of my little bit of drop shadow, a little bit of bevel and emboss, kind of adds a little, what do you call it? A little bit of dimensionality to that. So you can get this idea, have a nicer execution than me, create some really lovely motifs with this. Let me group this here. And let's move this off so you can see it. So, you know, you can turn this into, you know, duplicate it, say, I'm going to hide the branch, you know, do some really pretty designs, edit, transform, flip, horizontal, you know, so you can make some cool things, put some cool backgrounds, you know, make some gorgeous templates or something. So, yeah, I think I'll just stop for there right now. We've been about an hour, and I don't want to get too boring. So I'll pop back online whenever I have something else kind of hashed out. And, oh, but one thing that I wanted to tell you to play around with or have fun with is that the Artistic Autumn color palette. So I've got free ones here. You know, play around with your different brush collections and see how they look. So I was playing with even like my Galaxy brushes. You can have some cool effects. I have all the different brush collections, and it's just fun to just grab one and see how it goes. So like the tie-dyes, I have to do something with like the tie-dye brushes because those ones are really fun. I think I can do some cool things for fall with the tie-dye brushes. You know, they're very watercolor-esque. They're very I think it's fun. So we'll do something new with that. And don't forget, if you, oh my gosh, and then the feather couture brushes. We need to zoom in on this. These brushes are gorge. I have to just toot my own horn here. We have to be doing more with these. So this one especially, brush number 6, I'm absolutely enamored with. It's so pretty, so artistic, and there's just too many things to do. But what I was going to tell you is, if thanks for everybody from my newsletter for popping in and saying hey. That always like pumps me up and makes it more fun for me, because I like to have feel like I'm talking to somebody. Sometimes if it goes too long without a comment, I'm like, I feel a little silly. But yeah, so I'll work out some more stuff. Might pop on later today, but then the next scheduled live stream is the same time tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. And feel free to leave in the comment if there's something that you wanted me to demonstrate, like, hey, I want to see how to use this collection better, or give me an idea. I think that will be really cool. So, just I love to hear the feedback from you guys to like let me know what's on your mind, what you would like to see, a collection of brushes that you're having that you are not feel like you're getting the most of, or you need some ideas. So anyway, thanks, David. Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to show up every day, and it's been really good to push myself too, just to, I think it's really pushing my creativity to show up every day and, trying to at least do a live stream. But I think it's more fun for me, so I'm digging it. I'm gonna go with it. All right. Well, I will see you guys next time. And now I'm gonna put on my fancy end screen and go. I have got to get ready for a doggy appointment. So we'll see you next time. Thank you guys for popping in. And it's the future, so let me put my end screen on and see you tomorrow for sure. All right, bye. End screen. Mm-mm-mm.